Hi everybody, it's Debbie from the Inspiration Station. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I'm going to be doing a quick process video as I scrapbook the photos from my grandson's second birthday. You'll see I have a bunch of photos that I've picked out. I've printed them at 3x4 so that I can fit more on the page. It will be a double page spread, but there's quite a few photos. I decided that I will be using some very bright paper that matches with the toddler theme. This is from Elle Studio. It was one of their kits from, I believe it was July, the Adventure Paper Pack. I absolutely love the colors in this, and this is the paper that I was drawn to. It's a 6x8. I just cut it in half and I'll be using it on the pages. I also have these Doodlebug die cuts, which were the first thing that I picked out for these pages, and it just so happened that they matched perfectly with the adventure paper from Elle Studio. So you'll see I have a whole bunch of different die cuts that I think I'm going to use. I probably won't end up using all of them, but we'll use quite a bit. There's also this Simple Stories birthday line. I think it's called Blast Off, and it has these puppies in it. And the reason I chose those is the theme of his party was puppy pals or some other toddler program that he likes. So I'm not all up on all that, the newest kids programs. My kids are quite a bit older. Anyway, I decided that I was going to mat this layout in black because his t-shirt is black, and that helps to kind of focus on the photos. You'll notice here I'm not using white cardstock. I actually have a lot of paper from paper pads and such that I don't really care for. So I'm using the back side, which is just pure white. I've cut it down to 11.5 by 11.75 because I'm going to mat it 3 ways around 3 sides and then put it together in the center. I'm just using some score tape for that, and I ended up pushing them together so we have nice even borders all the way around. Then you'll see I am placing the papers that I've chosen. I did go back and cut out those little 1/2-inch strips from Simple Stories paper because I felt it needed some sort of a, I don't know, a little bit more of a pattern involved. I absolutely love these rainbow stripes, but I felt like it needed a little something more. So I did use the Simple Stories paper, and again, I cut 1/2-inch strips. So you'll see me put those down, and that's going to give me sort of a shelf for my photos to rest on. Now I'm arranging the photos in a way that I think I'm going to want them on the final page. I'm a very symmetrical scrapper, so you'll see that I laid them out pretty much in a straight line, balancing the size and the shape of the photos. I'm going to add in the die cuts that I've chosen to use and fool around with placing them. Here I'm making my own DIY thickers. I did not have any orange thickers, so I'm just using the numbers that I cut from Tim Holtz die. I cut several layers of cardstock and I'm layering them with the mono adhesive, the aqua. Gives you a little bit of wiggle room. They slide around quite a bit until you get them in place. And I've cut the number 2 out of the same paper that I matted one of the photos in, so it will match perfectly. You just need to set that down and let it dry for a little bit. It doesn't take long. It's very quick drying, but I set it aside and that will go on the page. Now here you see how I've rearranged the photos. I decided that I wanted to follow the line of the banner at the top. So instead of having them in a perfectly straight line, I'm actually going to curve them a little bit, put them on an incline on one side and a decline. Is that what you call it? On the other side. You'll notice that I'm not terribly particular as far as measuring and all that. I eyeball most of it. For the second photo, I did get out my T-square because I wanted to make sure that it was pretty close to the same level as the other side. But then when I got to the third one, that was pretty easy to eyeball. so I just laid them down that way. Now I'm going to add in the embellishments that I've chosen. I did add some items on foam tape, like the camera, and when I end up putting the puppies down, those will be on foam tape. I just needed to bring a little bit of dimension to the page. I did struggle getting the backing off some of those foam dots, but in the end they went on. Everybody's good. I went back to my 3L adhesive for the flat items. Again, no measuring, I just eyeball things. I'm not that precise. Back to the foam dots here. Hopefully I had better luck getting the backing off this set. There we go. Put that down. Then I found this little Simple Stories die cut, and it just had the date on it, and I thought that was a perfect place to stamp the date. Add in my little puppies, and then I decided I wanted to use some stars. And I really just kind of threw them onto the page wherever they landed, and then made sure that no two of the same color were right next to each other before I glued them down. But it's just sort of a scattering. I did end up using the confetti punch from Fiskars, which I absolutely love. The only trouble is it does not punch through cardstock, so you really have to use more of a pattern paper or something thinner to get all those pieces out. And here you have it. This is my finished page. Everything is glued down. I'm showing you the Fiskars confetti star punch that I used to put those down. And I'm really pleased with how this page turned out. The colors are fabulous. I did add a few stickers in, the cake and the lollipop that I found, but overall I really like it, and I hope you do too. Thank you for joining me again today.